A 13-year-old boy vanishes from Texas. 3 years later, his family gets a call that he has been found alive in Spain. His sister flies across the ocean to bring him home. And the person she brings back is a 23-year-old French con man who looks nothing like her brother. And the family let him move in anyway. This is the story of Frédéric Bourdin, the chameleon. Frédéric grew up in France with no father, a mother who tried to take her own life in front of him as a child, and grandparents who raised him in poverty. From the very beginning, he was an outsider. Part Algerian, fatherless, poor, kids were cruel, adults were worried, and Frédéric started doing the only thing that made people pay attention to him. He made up stories. By the time he was a teenager, he was not just telling stories. He was becoming other people entirely. He would walk into social service offices across Europe pretending to be a lost, mute child. He did it over and over in different countries: France, Spain, Belgium. He claimed at least 500 false identities across his lifetime. Interpol had a nickname for him, the chameleon, but nothing he had done before came close to what he pulled off in 1997. Frédéric was 23 years old, sitting in a youth shelter in Spain, about to be exposed again. He needed a new identity fast, so he called a missing children hotline, pretended to be a police officer, and started fishing through files of missing American kids, looking for someone he could become. That is when he found Nicholas Barclay. Nicholas was a 13-year-old boy from San Antonio, Texas, who had disappeared 3 years earlier after a basketball game with friends and was never seen again. His file said he had blue eyes, blonde hair, a Texan accent, and a tattoo on his finger. Frédéric had brown eyes, dark hair, a French accent, and was a full decade older than Nicholas would have been. But he called the family anyway. He told them he was Nicholas, that he had been kidnapped, smuggled to Europe, used and abused by a military sex trafficking ring, and that the ring had chemically altered his eye color. That was his explanation for the brown eyes, a story so dark and so specific that the grieving family did not want to question it. Nicholas's sister, Carrie, flew to Spain to get him. She looked at this man with a French accent and brown eyes and dark hair, and she told authorities, "Yes, that is my brother." He flew back to Texas with her, moved into the family home, slept on a foam mattress on the floor of their tiny trailer, enrolled in school, and for 3.5 months he lived as Nicholas Barclay. He fooled Spanish officials, he fooled American immigration, he fooled the FBI agent assigned to his case, he fooled the entire family. But there was one person who was not fooled. A private investigator named Charlie Parker had been working with a TV crew filming the family, and something kept nagging at him. He pulled out an old photograph of Nicholas and compared the shape of the ears to this man claiming to be him. The ears did not match. He dug deeper, and everything unraveled. The FBI took fingerprints and DNA. The results came back immediately. The young man living with the Barclay family was Frédéric Pierre Bourdin, a 23-year-old French serial imposter with a criminal record across multiple countries. He was arrested, sentenced to 6 years in prison, double the recommended sentence because the judge was that angry. But here is the twist that nobody can shake. While sitting in custody, Frédéric made a claim that haunted investigators for years. He said the Barclay family knew he was not Nicholas. He said nobody who looked at him could genuinely believe he was their blue-eyed teenage son, and he suggested that the reason they accepted him so willingly was because they had something to hide, that something had happened to the real Nicholas inside that home. Nicholas's brother Jason died of a drug overdose shortly after Frédéric was exposed. The timing made investigators uncomfortable. Nicholas Barclay has never been found. No body, no confession, no answers. Frédéric Bourdin was released from prison in 2003 and almost immediately started impersonating missing children again in France and Spain. He has since married, has children, and claims he has changed. Nobody is entirely sure what to believe. He is the chameleon, and somewhere out there is the real Nicholas Barclay. A 13-year-old boy who went out to play basketball one evening in Texas in 1994 and simply never came home. That is the case. Nova out.